Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Entrepreneurial Finance, Corporate Investment Companies or Corporate Venture Capital. What is corporate venture capital about? Let's briefly look at a couple examples of corporate venture capital. What you can see is that venture capital investments are increasingly interesting for established companies. BMW, for example, invests into InstantCap together with Koshler Ventures, which is a real venture capital firm or pure venture capital firm, so to say. So there's a corporate investing together with a venture capital firm. Intel Capital, the venture capital firm for Intel Corporation. Google Ventures, venture capital arm of Google. They're investing in other companies. Citi Ventures is investing. So what we can see right now is with these current examples that large corporations are putting money into young startups or young ventures. Why do they do that? Is it also venture capital firms or is this something different? Let's go back and ask ourselves, what is corporate venture capital about? Why did corporate venture capital emerge? Actually, this all started out of the main question, making corporates more entrepreneurial. Because in the 90s, we were able to see the following, that startups came out with very interesting ideas and they made the market and not the successful large corporations. So Microsoft made the market for softwares and not the established computer companies, for example. Also, they had the chance to do that. Even SAP is the best example. IBM turned the SAP founders down, and so the SAP founders did it on their own in the company. And with this question in the background, large corporations started to ask themselves, how do I make my people more entrepreneurial? Is this a question of motivation? And this is how corporate venture capital, or how the whole venture management movement or corporate venturing movement started. Asking from corporations, well, we have to motivate people differently, that they might take more risks and they get more rewards or different rewards for taking the risk and so on. But soon when they did it, they saw that it is not only about the motivation of the people. If you, for example, want to give them like phantom stocks or shares in the new entity, you have to have some different kind of organization. So the second very logical step into this problem was thinking about corporate venturing, thinking about how to organize these cells, these entrepreneurial cells in large companies. And this was the beginning of corporate venture capital, since if you, for example, think about organizing that differently, spinning off or spinning out parts of your company, you have to finance these companies, and this is where financing and in the end corporate venture capital comes into place. So corporate venture capital is basically development out of the question how large corporations can be more entrepreneurial. Altogether, this is summed up right now in the so-called venture management. So this is the overall concept of motivating, organizing, financing venture capital activities in or for large corporations. And that was the beginning. And in Germany, it began in the 90s, for example, with T-Systems, who started to do something like that. And now it's worth looking into that a little closer. Is this corporate venture capital? Is this pure venture capital investment, or is this something different? If we are going to look at that, we can see that venture capitalists have financial goals. Corporate venture capitalists actually have financial goals, plus they have strategic goals. And this is mainly 4 different kind of strategic goals, of that being one most important. So the first and the probably most important strategic goal of venture capital programs is technology observation. If you have a venture capital arm in your company, what you do is you try to understand which technologies are out there that might be interesting for your own corporation, and you'd like to get a share in these technologies. You like to see what's happening outside your doors. And this is how T Ventures, for example, started. And they're still doing investment, being very close to the telecommunication industry, and using their venture capital arm to observe new technologies out there. The second thing what you can do with the corporate venture capital program, if you have more motivated people in your own environment, foster their entrepreneurial spirit and give them the chance to build their own businesses. Being closely related to your mother company, however, not being the mother company, and having those people acting more entrepreneurial. This is what Deutsche Telekom, for example, also tries to do with Hubraum. They are kind of like corporate venture capital arm for fostering the entrepreneurial spirit, although it's not real corporate venture capital, but it is fostering the entrepreneurial spirit. Besides that, there's two other goals, but they didn't seem to be that important. Efficiency increases. If you buy companies with new technologies, normally these companies develop these technologies a lot leaner than you are able to do that. So it's more efficient if you do that. However, it depends on the price you pay. And growth enhancement. This is, you can grow, and Cisco is a good example for that. You can grow your own corporation by buying shares or whole companies that fit to your company and bring in, for example, new technologies. This is the main difference of corporate venture capital compared to real venture capital. Real venture capital has only financial goals. Corporate venture capital has financial goals, that's the first thing, and has strategic goals. Besides that, it's sometimes, especially beginning of the end of the 90s, beginning of 2000, it was really en vogue to do that. So companies also used it to some extent with PR goals to benefit from the image, to also have a corporate venture capital. But this is basically gone from the market. So that you can say today corporate venture capital is venture capital investment. Everything what we said about venture capital also holds true for these companies. But these companies have financial goals, plus they have strategic goals. And now for an entrepreneur, it's most important to understand which are the strategic goals and whether these fit to you as an entrepreneur.